Thank you for joining me at Mytitle. I'm Jeffrey Manafort here with Varhan Orchestrovič Bauer.
Orchestrovič.
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 Yeah, like orchestra.
Orchestrovič.
Yeah.
May I call you Maestro just to make it easier?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Varhan, I have a question. When you're composing music, do you visualize the song or do you hear the notes? When you're creating, what is your process?
It depends, because most of the time I create the music for movies. So I am doing something which I called listening to the picture, which means that I watch the movie and without any sound, total silence, and the picture speaks to me.
And Maestro, when did you first copyright your music and what was the experience like?
It was, I'm a member of OSA, which is a Czech organization, something like ASCAP in America, where I put some little note. The composition name is this, I'm the author of the music, this is the lyrics by somebody else, it's composition which is like this long, blah blah blah, and I signed it on the date and everything, and sometimes I give it to some special jury, which gives me some credibility of my composition, because it's something different to write a song, and it's different to write a symphony for the big orchestra and choir and everything. It's like and they give the credits. So when it's performed in the public, they say, okay, you get this many credits, which multiplies by the length of the composition. So for the performing of mass, of course you will get more money than if you perform only piece for piano. Of course, it's a different thing. Or if it's pop song, it's even less this credibility. And when I cooperated for the first time, I was surprised that it's actually, they registered that and they said, oh, it was played there, and you received the money from this OSA.
And how old were you when you first did the copyright?
25 or something like this.
Okay.
I couldn't do that before because I didn't think about it this way before. For me, it was just pure joy of creation. And I didn't think about money, about stuff like that. I was happy that my thoughts are like played publicly. So I was very happy, but I didn't think about aspects, I would say, economical aspects of the creation.
And why at 25 did you do the copyright and not, let's say, earlier at 21, 22?
Because I didn't know about it. I grew up in a communistic country where these kind of things were not so economically good. I would say that now it's much easier than it was before because of the electronic equipment and because of the electronic way of doing it. Because in the beginning it was so much paperwork to write it down and all this stuff. Now it's much easier because when you receive, for example, this ISRC code for your composition, for a song. So every time it's played somewhere in the radio, this ISRC code is like helping you that it's recognizable stuff, and somebody has to respond and deal with it. But the truth is that the problem is that in a conservatory, they don't teach you stuff like this. You are there just studying music and these practical things.
Right.
Nobody tells you. Or especially in my time when I was in the conservatory, there was a Velvet Revolution. So we come from socialism to capitalism. And in the first, let's say, 5 years, nobody thought about it like this.
And on the films, how much interaction do you have with the director when you're writing a composition?
Dramaturgy of the music is, to me, as important as the composition.
Absolutely.
Because to decide where to start music and where to stop the music, it's making the emotion, it's making the flow.
Sure.
And also the character of the music which you choose helps the movie if it's like slow. It's if you have some fight, for example, in the movie, and they are just having. So you have two choices. You can go with it, or you can slow down and do opposite. And they are just. And you can slow down very slow music, and you're making it longer. You're making it like never-ending fight, and in the end they kill him or something.
Yeah, and then it's emotional.
So it depends which way the director wants to go. For me, that's the emotion he wants to get from the picture, which I have to respect, and I have to dig it from the director, which way he wants to go.
Right. Maestro, with Mytitle, our focus is to assist creatives in protecting their original work. For example, with a composition that you create, you're able to save it as a file and upload it to Mytitle, and the information in the file, not the file itself, but the information about the file is encrypted and put into a blockchain. And one thing that we were thinking about is for someone like yourself who is actively creating different drafts. One thing that's very difficult is for a symphony. The symphony, writing a symphony is a very long process.
Very long.
And there's many changes that happen, and sometimes you want to, one idea was groundbreaking, and you want to protect this and continue on with the project. And as a composer, what is one problem that is the most difficult? It can be creatively, or it can be the process itself. What is one problem you have with documentation while you're creating?
I have versions, and usually in my projects, I have a project in Cubase, and the project is usually like 4 or 5 hours long, and I have it open on my Macintosh, let's say, for 4 weeks or more sometimes, and I just put the computer to sleep, and the next morning I just click and work again, because I don't like the break in between that you want to create, and then you have to wait 10 minutes before the program loads all the samples, loads all the videos, all the audios, and put it to the session. I like to work instantly, so I put it all in one, so it lets me do the first version, then to take it, copy it, and recreate it for the second version, and recreate it for the third version. And suddenly, I have from the first version, I take this part, from the second, this part, and put it together to the final version.
Varhan, thank you so much for coming in today and speaking with us.
It was a pleasure.
And thank you very much for tuning into Mytitle. Take care.